Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to the Cup Chasers podcast. Thanks for being here. Thanks for listening. Another London derby. West Ham hosted Chelsea. Tough day. Tough day for the men.
Yeah.
Where'd this one all go wrong?
Well, I don't want to sound like a Baghdad Bob by any means, but again, I watched the game to see decisions, to see situations, how we handle certain situations, to see, are we having empty possession or are we pushing the ball? What exactly, First 10, 15 minutes was terrible. It looked like we got a late wake-up call. They score their goal, I think, in the 20th minute, which Connor's got to do better. I know X is going to disagree with me, but Connor's got to do better there. You're man marking the guy. Like, give me a little effort.
Why is Connor marking the tallest dude on the West?
That's a good question. And I was reading online that Poach is more known for zonal marking, so that may be why. I don't like it. I know how it can work well, but I prefer just man marking. If you can't stay with your man, you don't deserve to keep the ball out of the net.
Yeah, Arsenal switched to a man marking when or a zonal marking when Arteta came in, and there was a lot of mismatches going on. But it looks like there's mismatches, but you're right, it's not. That's how it kind of works out sometimes because of the zones,
Yeah.
But I feel like when they bring up their strongest, tallest center backs, you need Silva and Disasi to get up to to be on those guys.
Well, the thing is you've got so you would have Antonio in the box. You would have.
I'm talking about Souček and Aguerd.
Souček. You start looking at it and you're like, there's going to be somebody that's going to be free because they're going to be bigger and taller. And that was one thing that Chelsea Twitter was a buzz about this past, summer or in the summer. We're a little bit small. We're going to be small. So that's probably another reason why Poach goes to zonal marking. But again, Connor's got to do a better job. I do think that Carney should have been on the post. He looks like he's floated outside. Because if somebody's on the post, that gets headed off.
Yeah.
Because while it was a good header, it was a header that could have been headed out off the line. I think that I think after that we woke up. We played well. We were pushing the ball. We had good possession. Sterling was causing problems all over on the right. I thought that was probably,
I want to talk about Sterling.
Let's talk about it.
I've listened to a lot of content already about this match week, and a lot of people are saying Sterling was awesome and Sterling had just this fantastic game and this incredible game. And while I think Sterling had one of his better games, I also don't think he showed us anything he didn't show us anything we didn't know about him.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, we've seen him dribble past four guys. But what'd he do at the end of that?
Yeah.
Every time.
Well, I think the perfect microcosm of Sterling was two situations. Enzo plays an absolute peach of a ball as a scooped pass into the box, onto his foot, and he overruns it. Okay?
Yeah,
that's one. That. Mm-hmm. Then there was a situation where a shot was taken. The ball fell to Sterling, and he takes two touches. If he takes one touch and a shot, he's getting it past Areola. He is. Because Areola was out of position. But as soon as he took that second touch to take the shot, one, the defender is able to block him, but two, Areola is now in position to block the shot as well. I think that's a perfect microcosm of Sterling. Now, I also think that there are a lot of Chelsea fans, myself included, that were like, you know what? The Sterling we got last year, right now we're not getting that Sterling. And that's a plus. Because last year, you and I talked about it in Atlanta. He walks around, he's not moving, he's not running. He's running. He came out right before the season started and said that he's going to lead the team in goals, which is hilarious, but we'll just go with all right.
He did. He was level with Havertz last season.
Yeah. But it's hilarious because you've got some. Yeah, you got to have more than 7. But he says he's going to lead the team in goals, and I actually appreciate that because there's been some questions about his effort, his desire. But if you go into the season saying I'm going to lead the team in goals, that's going to give you a little bit more to push, especially when you're down or you're trying to put the game away. He's going to be somebody who pushes. My issue on Saturday is twofold. First off, I appreciate that we possess the ball. I appreciate that we push the ball forward. The issue is that Nico Jackson has nobody to play the ball to when he's making runs through defenders. There were 2 instances where he has beaten a defender and he's looking for a pass to open somebody up, and there's nobody there. Absolutely nobody. There was another instance where he was in the box, he had came around the corner, and he plays the ball out to the middle. Perfect ball, nobody within 20 yards. And so I don't want us to buy another striker. I don't. I just don't. But if it's give somebody for him to actually play the ball to put the ball in the back of the net, then do it. We also have this, I don't know when I want to say it started under Conte, where we just throw crosses into the box, just throw them into the box, and we don't have anybody to head it home. And that's why, when you said something about Havertz, I'm like, yeah, he doesn't head the ball. we put the ball completely on his head for him to head it in. He couldn't head it in, So either that has to change.
Do you think that instead of not having a pure attacking creator, you play like Madueke underneath Jackson? Like, try to get one of your wingers to shift to play underneath him, like Alvarez is playing underneath Haaland at the moment.
Well, see, and that was the thing. First off, Nkunku was going to play that role. That's why I'm scared to hear what's wrong with Carney, because he was starting to play that role too.
Looking good.
And he was looking good in it. And that's why I was arguing, first off, when they said it's 3 at the back, I'm like, no, it's 4 at the back. You got Chile playing the wing, which that's a whole nother thing, but whatever.
People can't grasp the idea that you can have one formation without the ball and a different formation with the ball in the same game.
Exactly. They think it's all rigid in it, and it's not. Yeah. But you had Carney playing in behind Jackson, and that's another reason why I say the team completely changed when he went out at halftime.
Absolutely.
I mean, completely changed. I know we missed the penalty, which, by the way, there was encroachment, but they didn't review it.
It's an awful penalty anyway, man.
It was a terrible penalty, so I'm not saying that we should have gotten another chance, but Souček was clearly in the box before Enzo.
Yeah, well, my expectations for refereeing are just they're in hell.
Like that low.
No, they're in hell. They're literally just melting.
They're terrible.
They're
terrible. But that said, we missed the penalty. I thought we were still in control even after the miss. But when Carney went down, it took it out of the team. And then where I got most frustrated with Poach was he brings on Mudryk, which was fine, but he put him as a 10. He's not a 10. He's a winger. Play him as a winger, put somebody else on as a 10. If you don't have it, then switch it up somehow. Bring on, Medweke, or and then shift or put Medweke more in the middle, and then keep playing with Sterling on the right, and then play with Mudryk on the left.
I mean, at that point, because you did bring in Caicedo and push Enzo. Let Enzo be the creator. Like, don't this quasi 8, not really creator, not really the guy that's going back to start the play, but sometimes define that role.
Yeah.
Either have him be your creator and have Gallagher play the 8 and Caicedo in the 6. You nail it down. You got to nail it down, because just like last season, our criticism last season was that no one really seemed to know where they were supposed to be. It's kind of the same.
Yeah.
Our same criticisms are coming through. Like, you didn't have anybody creating.
No.
You did last week. Enzo was all over him.
Yeah.
Because Connor was doing the defensive work.
Yeah.
Now Caicedo, who granted had an absolute nightmare,
horrible start.
That's not going to persist. He'll come good.
Oh yeah, I'm not worried about him at all.
But if you let him have the defensive, it's the same thing in the Arsenal team. Let Partey have the defensive responsibility, and Rice can cook.
Yeah.
Just like Enzo can cook.
Yeah.
The only difference is that Arsenal have a creator.
Yeah, exactly.
A true number 10 in Odegaard. Who's doing that for Chelsea? It's the same question.
I think it's either going to be Sterling or Enzo.
But see, as soon as you had somebody that looked like they might,
seriously, Nkunku was going to do it. He's hurt. Started looking like Carney might be the guy that was going to finally pick up that spot.
Too, isn't it?
And well, they said it's at least an MCL. They haven't made a full announcement yet on what it is, but he left on crutches, and it just. The only thing that gives me a little hope is that the injury happened and he still played on it until it just got to the point to where he couldn't. But it also concerns me that he may have done more damage because he continued to play on it as well.
That's what happened with Timber, I think.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, see, the thing though is I'm not panicking. I'm telling you, Chelsea Twitter was a absolute buzz yesterday. Like pure, oh my God, we're getting relegated. We're terrible. We've got the Spurs curse from Pochettino. I mean, is everything. And I'm just like, it's the second game.
United are the new Spurs, remember?
Yeah. It's the second game, y'all. Like, was it good to lose the way we did? No, it was terrible. There were some issues where, Colwell shouldn't get shrugged like he did, but he did. Just DCIC has to close down on Antonio. I understand that he was staying near post. I'm sorry, he wasn't staying near post. He was giving up the near post because Sanchez took the near post if he takes a shot, but he didn't come up close enough to actually take away the far post.
Look, there's a litany of errors in that play, and it's not on Sanchez.
No, I don't think so either. First goal wasn't on Sanchez. That's on the defenders.
You can't get, first of all, you can't, like you say, you can't get shrugged off the ball in the midfield. Okay, but then you got lucky. The ball squirted back to your guy, and you had the ball, but then he's one-touched it right to the other team.
Right to the defender. Yeah.
Right to the defender. And then, yeah, I mean.
He splits the two defenders. He shrugs off Colwell.
I'm an Antonio fan.
Oh, I love Antonio. I hated that he scored, but.
He's a pure forwards forward, and that is a hell of a goal. But it all comes from just the fact that he's like, oh, you're going to give me 3 yards? Okay.
Exactly. Exactly. And that's the problem.
Yeah.
We gave him 3 yards, and he could rip it.
But all good forwards, most forwards in the Premier League, if you give them 3 yards of space, 18 yards from goal, they've got the quality.
Yeah.
At least 1 in 10 to rip something like that.
Unless it's Kai Havertz, because I saw the same thing from him today. It's
Hey,
completely.
we're done with Arsenal. We've moved on. We have moved on from Kai. From
We're
Shy.
never done with Kai Havertz. He still haunts me.
I get it.
But I took a lot of, and I know it's hard to believe, but I took a lot of positive from this match, even though it was ugly. I thought we had positive possession. I thought that we had shown the ability to actually get forward and be able to create. We just didn't finish. Like I said, Jackson had 2 where he just sets it off to somebody and there's nobody there, So, and I think that what it also has shown is that if Chelsea is going to continue to whip crosses in the box, they're going to have to buy a striker that can head the ball in. Because I think that without a Carney, without an Nkunku, we're not going to be able to feed it directly to an attacker to put their foot through it. So we're going to have to go high. Now, it's stupid against West Ham because they've got some giants.
Because they're huge, yeah.
But what I wanted to really complain about, though, is I thought that, first off, the red for Agard was more than necessary. But I thought also once he gave that red, he backed off in terms of like making calls. Lucas Paqueta should have been sent off 3 times.
Yeah, even I was like sour about that.
Yeah, I mean he should have been sent off like 3 times, and then of course he scores, the PK,
and then does a dance after 3
and
minutes.
then does a dance, and I want consistency. I think you want that too. If you're gonna start handing out cards left and right, which I mean, I think he handed out 8 cards yesterday. You're gonna have to hand it out when people start their time wasting, which West Ham started their time wasting at 70 minutes into the, with 20 minutes to go, and there was only 6 minutes of extra time. And I mean, it wasn't like, oh, they just dropped the ball so somebody else can come pick it up. No, they would run to the other end to pick up a ball to throw in. Like, that's absolute time wasting. So I mean, I want consistency when it comes to the officiating. I do think that the officials going forward are going to be a lot more impactful on a match than they were previously. But on the Chelsea side of things, we've got some things to fix. But Caicedo's going to be fine. Not worried about that. Mudryk has to play more on the left. This whole, he's getting 20 minutes, or we're going to sit him into the 10. Like, don't sit him in the 10. No, that totally neutralizes him.
What if Jackson sat behind Mudryk and Mudryk was leading the line? What if Mud Dog played down the center and Jackson was in behind him?
I mean, that would be a very lethal and fast attack, but I don't think it would work.
It'd be fast, but I don't trust him in front of goal. I think that's why he doesn't start. I think that's why he only gets 20 minutes. Every time he gets that,
he's so raw, man. He has less than 50 top flight games.
Right.
Yeah.
I don't
super raw. I mean, and I think here's the thing. Y'all put everybody on 8-year contracts. This is the team.
Yeah.
Yep.
Like, this is the team so they have to come good.
And that's the issue that I'm having right now with us continuing to play Chile on the wing. Because you sign Mudryk to this contract, Even Sterling can play over on the left, so that Madueke can play on the right. There are ways to
He
play
might be
someone
gone.
outside of Chile as a winger.
He might be gone for the season, bro.
Who's
Who?
that?
Carney.
I
Oh,
know. Yeah. We have nobody to fill that 10 role right now.
Nope.
Nobody.
I was
And
telling Patrick, I was saying it's the same. Somehow, it's the same issue as last season.
Yeah, I mean it's our medical staff. Half of them walked out when Todd got hired. So God knows who he brought in, like on the day-to-day other than the main physio. Like I said, Rico left with his whole team.
Yeah, it's man, people dropping like flies all over the place.
Yep.
All over the place.
It's so like you said, it is the team, and it's going to be, like you said, raw is probably the best way to put it.
For Mud Dog, yeah.
It's
But
I
see,
mean
I
for
think
a lot of them, man.
well, a lot of Chelsea fans just don't have the patience.
no, they don't.
And it's going to take that because as much as you've finally gotten a coach who I think can right the ship and can implement his own style and get something that's, normal. You know what I mean? Have an identity again. I think that's where you start. And I think you've made that start, but it's taken Arsenal 5 years to get to where we are. And I think y'all are in for that. Like when you plummet as far as y'all did, and then you've changed everything.
Top to bottom. Yep.
You're not just gonna be challenging again this year. Well, yeah, there you have it. That is the roundup. I think we'll go ahead and wrap it up right there on the weekend review. It was definitely a good one, and we are looking forward to plenty of games coming up in the future. If you're as excited about it as we are, go ahead and smash up the likes, subscribe to the channel, and get that notification bell on. Thanks for being here. Thanks for listening, and have a great night.